Hey guys, it is Keke here. Welcome welcome back to my channel. This channel is KekeJPlays, where we're just all Linus and Lions here playing the games. In this case, today we are reacting to scary stories. If you don't know me, I love anything horror, scary movies, scary stories, scary short films, scary games, whatever it may be. If it's scary, I like it. So today we are going to be reacting to scary stories. So I'm just randomly surfing on YouTube. Let me get the headphones put on. Ooh, some of them have popped up while I was, looking for something else, but I was like, oh no, we can't watch this right now. We have got to wait until we react. So I came across this one here, which is Creepy Emails with Backstories by Mr. Nightmare. This was released 5 days ago, so let's check it out.
If you ever check your spam folder in your email, there's a chance at one point you received an email with one of your passwords in the title, and inside the email would be threats of leaking your information or worse unless you paid a certain ransom, usually in Bitcoin. This usually happens when a hacker, or even often a regular user, will likely find this info by merely searching any of the numerous data breach databases available on criminal forums. In March of 2019, a 25-year-old man named Joe Albanese received a similar email to what was just described. It was titled his password that he used for every account that he had. This was obviously a cause for alarm, so he opened it immediately to read the contents of the email. This is what it said. Hey Joe, all you really need to know is that I know your password and other personal information. I won't come after you, I won't harm you, as long as you send me a small amount of money, $5,000 in the form of Bitcoin. We're going to refer to it as a donation for a good cause, not as any kind of blackmail. My Bitcoin address is... If you don't send me the money, bad things may happen. Don't even bother going to the police. This email is untraceable.
First of all, a small amount of money, $500 is, or excuse me, $5,000 is not a small amount of money. Number two, this is blackmail because you threatened that if you don't send me the money, bad things will happen. Don't go to the police. This email is untraceable. How do we know that? I'm going to the police.
Joe did some research and learned that these kinds of threatening emails are common scams, and usually nothing will come of them. Still, Joe replied to the email asking, what other personal information of mine do you currently possess? I'd love to know.
Come on, Joe.
He sent this as a sort of challenge to the email, not even really expecting a response or for it to even go through. But it did, and he promptly received a response back saying, I know your home address is F. If you go to the police, I will know about it and you will be sorry. This is when worry would really set in with just about anyone, as having a password leaked in a data breach is one thing, but some unknown person having your home address threatening you with it is completely next level.
Yeah.
Joe didn't reply to the email for several days, but he also didn't go to the police. He decided to wait it out and see what would happen next, and after 3 days, there was a follow-up email saying, I'm still waiting for the payment.
Wow.
I won't wait much longer. Joe replied this time, saying, I'm not paying you $5,000.
Listen, Joe.
If you want to come to my house, you'll get a face full of lead. This was a complete bluff, though, as he doesn't actually own a gun, and the hacker likely knew that, because that same night, Joe received a follow-up email containing a picture of his house.
What?
It was the side of his parents' house, and zoomed in on his bedroom window upstairs.
No.
He didn't want to tell his parents in fear of worrying them.
What?
Now that his gun bluff didn't work, he knew he may have to get them or the police involved.
Bruh.
He responded one more time saying, I don't have $5,000. I'm broke paying off student loans. The house you sent a picture of is my parents' house. They did nothing wrong. If you need to do this, please do it to someone else. I don't have the money to send you even if I wanted to. There was no response this time, but within an hour, the sound of glass shattering from downstairs traveled throughout the house.
Now listen.
Everyone, including his parents, heard it. There was one of their decorative bricks from the front of the house laying.
Listen, Joe, you had about a good 3 days to go and get you a gun. If anybody does this to my house and lays a toe over the threshold, you're done. Like, no, you're done.
In the dining room among thousands of tiny shards of glass from the broken window. Joe tried to explain the situation as quickly as he could, and while he and his dad took a quick look outside for anyone who could be out there, his mother called the police. Joe showed the police officers the emails and everything, which were forwarded to the police department.
He should have been dead.
A police officer stayed parked outside the Albanese house for a couple hours that night. Joe blocked the email address from sending any further emails, and as far as he knew, he was never contacted again. The police had a hard time tracing back the original source of the email, as it was sent from an untraceable device, likely an iPod Touch or similar device.
Baby, we need a follow-up to that story.
At some point, everyone imagines being
Keke
famous
Farm.
in their lives. A lot of people create this image in their head that being in the public eye creates for nothing but a fairy tale life. But that's far from the truth. Being under the spotlight in any capacity comes with a lot of drawbacks, one of which being stalkers and overly obsessed fans. One extreme case of this, an ex-radio host and DJ who was centered in Los Angeles had a long, seemingly never-ending chain of emails from an obsessed fan. It started around 2005 or 2006 when the DJ started noticing a regular listener, someone who listened to the show every day and would call in on the request line from time to time. At one point, the listener won a prize from the show, and in order to deliver the prize, the DJ requested her email, and that's where things began. In order to be polite and cordial with the girl, he would answer all of her emails, and when Facebook started to become popular, he added her back where she commonly liked and commented on his posts. This went on for a while, until one day the fan professed her love for him. The DJ rejected this advance in the most polite way he could. She seemingly accepted the rejection, and the DJ thought it would be the end of it, but it wasn't. In 2011, she emailed him a link to a blog that she was writing, where she would post about him and their quote-unquote love multiple times per day.
What?
She followed him over to a new radio station and was religiously listening to his shows, assigning meaning to the musical playlist. For example, the song Marry Me by Train was popular at the time, and whenever that song would play on his show, she would blog about it actually being a marriage proposal from the DJ.
Oh my gosh.
She began saving all his photos from his social media and photos of other women in his life, like friends and girlfriends, and posting them to her blog with extremely hateful words. She'd make posts raging about him being a man whore, followed by another post not even 10 minutes later in a completely different tone, apologetic and soft, implying she may have bipolar tendencies. The DJ did his best to ignore it, even though by this point he was extremely creeped out. But as she again began emailing him, he tried more forcefully this time to get her to stop, but she wouldn't stop. The DJ started sending DMCA requests to her blog host from the photos of his that she had posted. The repeated violations got her blog shut down, but then she started emailing him instead of posting blogs. He made a filter folder so he never would have to see them aside from occasionally peeking at the
There's literally 7 billion people on this planet, half of them being men, maybe more than half, and you doing all of this over one human. Like, put that energy to something else.
Insanity in the folder from time to time, just out of curiosity. Years went by and he hadn't answered any of her emails after 2 of them when he very adamantly told her to stop all communications and leave him alone. This continued for years, and in total she has sent him over 4,000 emails, all of which he's archived. This is a picture of just a select few of them. The more recent emails had gotten very dark and violent in tone. In one of the most recent ones, she was threatening to find and hurt the DJ and happily go to jail for it. In another one, she listed the specific neighborhood in which he lived, which he worries she may have his address if she already knew what town he lives in. In an effort to stem the flow of information, he deleted all of his social media accounts a while back. But she would still email him pictures he appeared in from his friends who had public profiles, as well as radio station photos that he appeared in. Most disturbingly, she sent the DJ photos of a shrine she had made of him in her home, with framed photos of his social media that she had posted up on the walls, desks, etc. Being a DJ, his appearance schedule must remain public, so she could technically find him working at nightclubs anytime she wants to, and understandably he's freaked out and worried about his safety. After calling multiple attorneys, none seemed very interested in helping him with this matter. Due to his fear of facing the girl in real life or even being in the same room as her, he never went through with filing a restraining order. He also worried that on the off chance she didn't have his home address, the legal process would reveal it to her. To my knowledge, there was never any follow-up with this, and it's not known if the harassment continued or what route the DJ pursued, if any. But this is one of those extreme cases of how a fan's obsession can have a very negative effect on someone's well-being and mental health.
All of that for what?
In this last one, a viewer who wanted to be referred to as Christian received multiple emails that he wanted me to share in a story video. Christian has a friend named Katie who was out for a job interview. They used to be co-workers, which is how they met. Nothing was out of the ordinary until Christian started to try and contact Katie after her interview was supposed to be done, only to find that his texts weren't delivering and calls were going straight to voicemail. It was very possible that her phone could have been off or she had no cell service, but as hours passed and still nothing was delivering, he started to get concerned. The most likely and obvious possibility was that she lost or broke her phone, but finally, hours later, the text said delivered. However, Kate never replied. That same day, as Christian was checking his email, he saw an email from Katie's old work email. He opened it, and it read, "Hey, I lost my phone and keys. Can you come pick me up? I'm by some old warehouse construction looking building in the parking lot across from a Hyatt place." Christian asked when she last had her phone and if she had any idea how she lost it. She replied, "I have no idea. Just come soon, please. It's cold." The address that she then sent to better help Christian get to her said it was 20 minutes away. But looking at the location of the address on the map, it led to some abandoned-looking warehouse parking lot, evident by the green growing in the parking lot and decaying-looking rooftop.
Exactly. Why are you there?
Christian sent another email back, demanding she go to a less sketchy pickup point. She took a few minutes to answer back with, "I'm already sitting on a bench here. I'm comfortable. Just please hurry."
What y'all doing in this situation? I would have been like, baby, you got Uber. It's 2020. Call a Uber. Go somewhere well lit. You're able to do it. Like, no, I don't need to pick you up. You can stay on the phone with me, but what you trying to send me over to, it sounds sus.
Christian got in his car and started following the directions to the location he was told to go. But about halfway there, he stopped the car when he had a thought.
Oh, she lost her phone? But was he?
And that was, how is she using her laptop to email him in the middle of some random parking lot by an abandoned warehouse?
Where's the Wi-Fi?
While it was maybe possible that there was some free Optimum Wi-Fi nearby or something, it did seem very unlikely. This is where Christian became suspicious of the whole thing, and the fact that she was using her laptop to contact him instead of going to the hotel across the street and calling him just made it seem more suspicious. He tried calling her number a few times, and now it was ringing instead of going to voicemail. On his third try, the phone rang twice and somebody picked up for a second, though most likely on accident. By this point, Christian was suspicious all of Katie's things were stolen. He called Katie's brother to tell him about the situation and ask his opinion. But when he asked first thing, "Have you heard from Katie?" Katie's brother said she had been home for 2 hours, and that her entire backpack and phone were stolen. Christian yelled into the phone that he was being led into some sketchy parking lot at that very moment by someone who was on Katie's email, most likely on her laptop. Christian drove to Katie's house immediately to pick the two of them up, and they called her phone and left a voicemail with all three of them yelling threats of what they'd do if they didn't return the phone and laptop, which probably went unheard if the thief didn't have her passcode.
But I would have...
They also sent it...
I wouldn't have done that. What I would have done, called the cops, rode up on that location, guns blazing. Like, look, you're confronted. We got 4 people, maybe 5 if the cops got 2 people. It's 4 to 5 against 1. Give me my stuff, and you're going to jail.
A number of texts which went unresponded to. After calling the police and requesting assistance in the parking lot, a police car did show up, but the entire parking lot was abandoned as expected. No further emails were received. You should have waited. Kate's phone was never turned on again. It was likely disposed of. She never got any of her stuff back, but on the bright side, Christian may have avoided being lured into some kind of trap that would have led to him being robbed or harmed.
Well, that one could have been handled differently, but let's go ahead and check something else out. Let's check out something by Meat Canyon. These are 5 nights at Markiplier's. I love Markiplier.
Hello? I just wanted to leave you a message letting you know a little more about the job. Now, you've been hired to watch over Markiplier's house? Yeah, he's a big-time YouTuber guy. Have you heard of him? Now, he's not like other game YouTuber types like your PewDiePies or your Jacksepticeyes. No, he loves milk. And frankly, I'll tell you something, he can't get enough of it. So, I left about 3 gallons of whole milk in the basement, or was it 2? I don't know. There should be enough to keep him satisfied for the night, or at least I hope. But if he runs out of milk, he gets, well, we don't need to go into all of that, so,
Markiplier.
Be careful for all, you know. Also, his house is ran on milk energy, so you only have so much power for the night. But you should be okay. Just keep checking the cameras and only close the doors if absolutely necessary.
Who hung up the phone? Oh. So how many different Markipliers?
Hello, everybody. I'm Markiplier. Oh, God. Oh, I can smell your bones from here. Oh, sweet, sweet calcium. Oh, I need more calcium. It's so hard making history every day. Oh, God, I'm so sexy.
Yes.
The milkman's being shy in his room. Oh, you silly cow. You have all the milk, don't you? Oh, it's so hard being me. The crowd scream.
What?
And they scream for me. Glory comes at such a heavy price.
Oh man, that was more funny than scary. I wasn't scared. Okay, so this next one I want to check out is the 4 true scary stories with footage, and this is by Mr. Nightmare again. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, okay. This seems unsettling.
I live in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It was a Tuesday night. I was laying on my bed trying to get some sleep. I laid there for about 3 hours until I decided to get up and take a walk around my neighborhood just to clear my head. It was 2 in the morning. I was walking down the street when I remembered there's an abandoned building in our neighborhood. I decided to visit it. People say that this building is haunted, and I've always wanted to see what's inside of it. The building itself looked really creepy. Broken windows, a huge metal door which said no entry with red paint. As an 18-year-old college student, I wanted to be adventurous. I climbed through one of the broken windows and got inside the building.
That's your first mistake.
I took out my phone and started to record so I could show off in front of my friends. Just to let you guys know, my phone works completely fine. There's no problem with it. The place was really dark. The only source of light in that building was from my phone. It took me a couple of seconds to realize I was inside a small room. I walked out the door into the hallway. It was an apartment. I was doing commentary while recording to make it look cool. I got out of the apartment and into the main hall of the building.
You doing all this looking cool? Just be yourself. I can't stand when people are fronting for other people. If you be yourself, that's all that's needed. If they don't like you for you, then they ain't the ones. Next.
Picture of the main hall. On the left side of the elevator, there's a small passageway which leads to a really small room under the stairs, as seen in this picture.
Oh, absolutely not.
I went there to investigate. When I got close to the room, I heard a clicking noise from the first door. I was frozen for a split second. I walked back to the main hall still recording. Then I heard a loud sound of metal dropping on concrete. I almost crapped my pants. I wanted to get the hell out of there, but something inside me told me to go upstairs and find out what it was. I started walking up the stairs as slowly as I could. I don't even know what I was expecting to see up there. I got to the first floor. As usual, it was dark, but it got colder. This event took place in the middle of August, so it was hot outside.
There's spirits in there.
Stuff, and when I suddenly felt cold, I firmly believed something was going on here. I should have turned back, but I still wanted to see where that sound came from.
You should have.
There were 4 apartments on each floor. I investigated all 4 of them and saw nothing. A chill ran down my spine when I realized the whole second floor and the ground floor were covered in sand. There was no concrete and no sign of anything metal. The cold temperature on the floor and the fact that I was alone gave me the chills.
Second mistake.
Downstairs,
You're by yourself.
made my way back to the apartment, climbed out through the window, and ran back to my home. When I got home, I drank gallons of water, calmed myself down, and took out my phone. I wanted to hear that sound again, so I played the video, and to my horror, the audio in the video was messed up. My commentary wasn't there at all. Like I said earlier, there's no problem with my phone. It works fine. I didn't get any sleep that night. I told my friends about it, and they told me that it was really stupid to go inside that building alone.
It was.
I didn't delete the video. I decided to keep it as a memory. Fast forward to December. I was going through my gallery, and I came across that video. I decided to play it. I fast forwarded to the part where I heard the sound, and surprisingly, that sound is clearly heard in the video. I don't know how it could be heard clearly, but here's a small clip from the video.
Oh, Lord.
I got goosebumps and closed my phone. I promised myself not to go near that building ever again.
Yeah, that was stupid for him going by himself. Like, why? I ain't trying to impress nobody.
Let me start out by saying I was a non-believer of the paranormal until this night. I was with 4 buddies. I won't list any names for safety reasons. We went to hang out and talk in an old, supposedly haunted trailer late at night. The owner and multiple people who lived there all told me that it was haunted by demons, and me being the new guy to the group, I needed to be initiated. This initiation consisted of walking into the haunted back room. I did as they said after they convinced me, and walked in and then quickly ran out. My friends thought it was hilarious and went to prove to me that it was all not real. I went behind them to record them and see if we could get any proof of the demon. My friend went to open the closet, and that's when I got spooked by a loud audible crash in the closet and ran away. My friend thought it was hilarious, and after more convincing, dragged me back inside.
I just unplugged my microphone, but let me tell you something. If somebody laughing at you for something like that, them ain't your friends. Repeat it with me. Them ain't your friends.
Inside the house to record him. My buddy and I got outside of the trailer to rewatch our footage, and what we caught scared me beyond belief.
Dude, I just heard in the closet. Yo, bro.
Oh, baby. Bye.
Whoa! Hey.
Was somebody else in there?
Oh,
And you're laughing.
oh. Chase, look at this. Dude, I saw it. Get the hell out of there, dude.
No.
Closet opening and closing.
This
loud
is all an
knocking,
act.
Windows being tapped on. All the while I captured orbs outside of the room. While I was outside waiting for my friend to come back out, I heard the trash cans rattle and immediately called my friends out. We didn't see them move, but a little later on we had things thrown at us from an unknown place. I had a live bullet tossed into my leg, and one more land inches away from my buddy's leg.
I have it on video. You were making that shit. Wait, if you're there, then who's throwing shit?
Huh? I just came back from smoking with Roy. Yeah. Oh, shit. They just passed by, I took a hit, and they kept walking.
We have actual proof of that ghost.
Eventually we went to get out after I practically dragged my friend into the car, only to have our car alarm go off as we opened the car door. When we got home, my buddy showered and said his back hurt, and when I checked, I saw he had multiple scratches up and down his back, as you can see in this image.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody could have put them scratches there, but I don't know. That seemed kind of set
My
up.
best friend and I decided to go for a walk. It was around 10 o'clock in the evening, so it was as dark out as it was going to get. I live in a small village, so we usually just walk around the streets. There weren't many people out at this hour. We were kind of just walking and talking. A little while into our walk, we started to head home. We went up some hill, which led to the little town area and the only store we had in our village. But as soon as we came up the hill, we saw a weird-looking figure in the distance. It looked like an abnormally tall woman covered in a sheet of some sort, and it had its neck tied with a string or a rope. This is the video we took.
And that's when you go the other way. Baby, the turnaround would have been so fast.
Honestly, it reminded us of the movie The Nun. It was really hard to see since it was totally dark and the street lights weren't exactly the brightest. It was moving very slowly, and it was waddling left and right like it was drunk or injured or something. We couldn't figure out if it was walking our way or not because it was moving so slowly.
It ain't no need to figure it out. That's when you bust that U-turn and go back the opposite way.
It was a really disturbing sight at that moment, at that hour of the night.
Yeah,
After
she
half a
looking
minute of
sus.
standing there, we realized it was walking towards us.
Nah.
We ran as fast as we could when we realized it didn't even have a visible face or just anything to take note of specifically. We walked around to go home, hoping we wouldn't see her again, but we thought we would, because if we calculated it right, we would meet again on one intersecting street, but luckily we didn't. The next day, I told my friend about what happened, and she told me she also saw her, or it, while she was driving with her sister past the bar, which is on the street we thought we would see her again.
Y'all, I'm hoping this is not like an elderly person who's like sleepwalking or, you know, has dementia, because those things can happen. So I hope that that's not the situation.
She moved slower than us, and I really don't know how we missed her, but luckily we did. My friend described the figure just as horrifically as it appeared from the distance to us that night, and since that night, we never saw her again.
Well, I wouldn't be mad about that.
This just happened a couple days ago. This isn't something that happened to me, but rather something that happened to a family friend. Our family friend, who I'll call Buddy for the sake of this video, believes that something has attached itself to him, something paranormal. It started when he moved into a new house. Almost right away, Buddy and his family started experiencing paranormal activity, such as shadows and voices. One night, Buddy had found a weird discovery in the basement of his new home. Upon doing some moving in the basement, he found something that he had not seen prior to the move-in. He found a stolen cemetery wreath. This made partial sense because the town cemetery was in walking distance of the house.
But why though?
Buddy was aggravated with the activity going on in his new home. So out of anger, he snapped the cemetery wreath, and in his own words, "When I snapped the wreath, every dog in that town started howling." There must have been 20 dogs all howling at the same time. I was scared to death. After that, the activity worsened, and they had no choice but to move. But it seems the activity followed them to every house they went to. Recently, they've had some of the worst experiences in this apartment they currently live in. Buddy and his wife, who I'll call Pam, have been repeatedly followed by some kind of entity. They decided to set up a phone recording for the night and try to capture anything that might seem paranormal as evidence that they weren't crazy. What Buddy found on the phone was horrifying. He woke up at 3 to review some footage and found a 5-second video that had been taken after the previous recording had stopped. Keep in mind, they have no pets, no children that live with them, no TV or radio was on at the time, and both Buddy and Pam were in bed when this happened. You can clearly see something pick up the phone and a female voice speak into it.
Where the phone
I can
at?
assure you that is not Pam's voice or any other voice that they're familiar with. Everyone thinks it says, "Did you tell Daddy to me?" But you guys take a listen for yourself and come to your own conclusion.
Oh no.
You tell Daddy about me?
Almost a night after this recording, one of Buddy and Pam's daughters died from an overdose. She was 30 years old and 7 months pregnant and a mother of 4, getting ready to be 5. Could this video have something to do with it? We don't know. But if it is a coincidence, then it sure is one hell of a scary one.
Y'all, that one did it for me. The last one. Oh man. Oh man. Golly, I hate that. I hate that. What she said, did you tell Daddy to do that? Bro, anybody who can do that or even think about doing that, bro, you don't belong on this planet. Goodbye. You belong on the bottom of my shoe. That's where you belong. Like, just disgusting. But guys, let me know what you think about these videos. Do you want me to react more to horror videos, horror movies, not movies, but horror short films, anything like that? I love doing this, so I hope you guys like it too. If you have any suggestions on things that I should react to, leave them in the comments as well. But yes, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.